What's up, guys? Feliz Navidad. It's your boy Mike P coming with the Hispanic dishes today, bro. Because of course, I am a Mexican. I'm just kind of tallish. But today, we're gonna make the world's best tamales. The only tamales that matter in your life. Right here, we got our masa, some nice good chuck steak. We got our cumin, our cloves, our bay leaves, our garlic, some pepper, and some chilies. We got some California, and my Spanish is terrible, so I really don't know how to say this one, but ancho. But yeah, we're gonna make some chili, Colorado. Chili Colorado tamales. I think that's how you say it, right, Richard? yeah, that's good. So, let's get this started today, guys. So, to begin this off, you're just gonna want to get a thing full of chili pods. Make sure you take out the seeds, which I already did. Just gonna throw them in some boiling hot water. Just gonna let them sit in there and marinate for I don't know, 30-40 minutes, maybe an hour, just until they get soft and tender. And then after that, we're gonna throw them in a little food processor and blend them up. So, be back at you guys when these things are done boiling. So we out here. We got the chili pods here boiling away, and now it's time to season the beef. And here's a secret from my grandma that she used to tell me. So you can get a little container, any kind will do, a little bit of olive oil, some beef bouillion, just the powder. You're just gonna make like a little paste. Just get that in there and just work it. Maybe we'll add a little bit more. And just work it, and we're gonna make a good paste. And you know, you just want to give it like a nice thin layer, because this is gonna be good because it's gonna drop some juices from the beef. And when you drop those juices from the beef, it's gonna help you create a gravy that you're gonna want to add to your thing. And then after that, it's gonna be some magicalness. So what you're gonna want to do is get your nice cast iron skillet, add some canola oil to it. Make sure that the whole bottom of it is like real and covered up. And then we're just gonna drip this on here. Like I said, you don't need a lot because it packs a lot of flavor. But we're just gonna get it. We're just gonna rub our meat out. Just gonna rub our meat out. It's gonna be some good stuff. Yeah, get it in there, get in all the nooks and crannies. And the good thing about the paste is that it doesn't wash off when you cook. It kind of sticks to the meat and it coats it. But yeah, this is a secret recipe from Mike P's grandma. And also, no one got the time to make some beef stock. You got an extra 8+ hours. We work busy weeks. We work full time. Sometimes you don't have time to stay at home all day and make a beef stock and sit on the stove and watch it. So, looks like we got our roast all seasoned up. And don't be afraid to get your pan like stupid hot, because you want a nice caramelization. Preheat your oven to about 350. And whatever juices come out from this, we're just gonna add them. But the beef bouillon just helps it give it a nice richy, nice good beef flavor. So that's the sound you want to hear. There you go. So that's going to be caramelized in there. And now we just sit and talk about life. I don't know. Are airplanes real? I don't know. Are they? That's a hard question to ask. I don't have the answers to. But what I can tell you what to do is how to make some dank beef tamales. You just kind of want to sear it, let it lock in all the flavor. And so you can bring heat into it before you throw it into the oven. So we got that. I'll get my counter dirty. Put that on there. Let it chill. So that's going to be caramelizing. And it'll continue to do this even when you throw it in here. So we're going to get that, throw it into a preheated stove, drop that bad boy in there. Now we're just going to let it chill there for a couple minutes or two. Maybe, I don't know, go play some Call of Duty, go learn a new hobby, hang out with the homies. I don't know. Your beef's cooking, it's chilling. Yeah, you can still hear it. It's gonna be some good stuff. I don't know, prep everything else, do a little bit of cleanup, but we out here and we're making some beef tamales. We out here, our steak is done cooking. It's a little bit red still, but that's alright because we're gonna finish cooking it inside the tamale sauce. So right now what we're gonna wanna do is make a little bit of beefy gravy right now. And so what you're gonna wanna do, is you're gonna wanna get the little caldo de res, the beef bouillon flavor. Pour that ish in there just a little bit. You don't wanna mix it up. This is gonna give it that nice good flavor. If not, you can use beef stock, you can use chicken stock, but I want mine to be beefy throughout. So just gonna get that. You're just gonna cook it out and kind of just let it get nice and a little bit thick. Almost kind of make a gravy out of it. Let's see. Get a little cup of water to kind of help get all the things. So when you cook your steak, what happens is that it releases a lot of flavors and I forget what they call it, but like some stuff that gets stuck to the bottom of the pan. And that actually has a lot of flavor and was good for gravy. So after you cook your roast, put it inside a separate pan, then we're gonna shred it, cut it up, and do all that good stuff. And right now, we're just making the sediment. Sediment, that's what it's called. What you're gonna wanna do is get a little bit of flour and seaweed. Not the seaweed. You can get a little bit of flour. And just add a pinch to it, but make sure you're constantly stirring so it doesn't clump up. And don't use a wooden spoon for it. A wooden spoon is just, unless you want clumpy gravy, use a wooden spoon. But this works far better, and it's a cast iron pan. It could take the punishment from metal onto metal. That's what they're for. That's why cast irons are good. So we're getting this. It's cooking out, cooking out. Everything's kind of getting emulsified now. All right, so that's good. That's gonna be our beef flavoring. So we got our little cast iron going good. We got our chilies. What we're gonna wanna do now is we're gonna wanna scoop them up and put them into the blender, AKA the food processor. So get this. Whew, got some boiling water on my hands. Throw some of those bad boys in there. Smells like my grandma's kitchen right now, bro. Remember growing up, we'd be out here, you ask my grandma, yo grandma, what's for dinner? She'd be like, food. I'd be like, well, what kind of food? The kind you eat. She's nicest old lady you'll ever meet, man, but freaking little feisty little brown Mexican lady too. Always, every time I was doing something, I was always creating trouble. I'm like, grandma, I'm just over here trying to eat a nice bowl of oatmeal. How am I causing trouble? But you know, it'd be like that sometimes. Even when you don't want it to. So we're gonna get this, give it a good blend because it's already coming out of the top. There we go. All right, let's add. Ooh, look at that. That's a nice, good color. So let's add some fresh onions to that. And you put however many onions you want. That's how you want to make it. If you like extra onions, throw some extra onions. If you like extra garlic, add some extra garlic. You know, there's really no rules to cooking. It's however you like it. So I like mine a little bit garlicky, so I'm gonna throw some garlic in there. Then I'm gonna get this, drop the onion in the chili pot water. It's alright though. Then we're gonna get some ground cumin. Add a little bit of that to it. I'd say maybe a tablespoon and a half. and some ground cloves. And watch out with the ground cloves because this is really strong, so you only need like maybe a couple of them like that. Throw in a little bit more cumin because I really like the taste of this. There we go. And then pepper too. I like to get multicolored peppercorns because I just like the way it tastes. So you can get that. A couple pinches of that. Throw that in there. Put this bad boy back on top. Alright. And that looks good. Got our tamale sauce right there. And now, what we're gonna do is we're gonna make a roux. I know a lot of people like vegetable oil and canola oil, but I prefer olive oil. For myself. So we're gonna do equal parts olive oil, equal parts flour. So fill up the bottom of that. And we're gonna get another whisk. And we're just gonna keep adding little bits of flour at a time. And you're going to want to cook it out to get rid of that floury taste. You got this coming along. And it's okay if it turns a little bit dark brown on you. It's quite fine. Because that just lets you know that it's fully cooked out. Because if you don't cook it out enough, you get a very nasty, kind of powdery tasting enchilada sauce, and that is not a chill vibe, bro. It is very unchill. So we got this going around. Turn this up all the way, cook it out more. Then we got our beef stock right here. So we're just gonna add all this in right now. Add a little bit of gravy. That pan was stupid hot right now. And then you're really gonna want to work it really good right now. And you gotta be aggressive with it so it doesn't get clumpy on you. It's almost gonna look like you're making what's that thing, gumbo? And then we add our enchilada sauce, our tamale sauce. And you just let everything get fully incorporated. Whew, my eyes, damn, that thing's freaking. So this is a little thick still. So we're gonna add a little bit more water to that bad boy. There we go. Down, son. There we go. Bring back our beef broth stuff. We gotta make sure we get all that fatty gravy goodness in there, because that's really where a lot of your flavor is gonna come from. We're just gonna scrape out the pan. And we're just gonna let it get fully incorporated and emulsified. Here's my spoon. And always taste as you go. So you can always add more cumin seeds, more cloves. Needs more salt. Ooh, that's spicy too. Turn that off, keep it on low. All right. There we go. We kind of want it a little bit thicker than tomato sauce. So we can get that. Make sure we keep our oven on at 350. Don't turn it off like I did. So we got this. We out here right now. We're cooking. Let's add a bay leaf or two. Add a little bit more salt. You want that constant little popping sound because that means it's just developing flavor and everything's getting a little bit more mature. We need a little bit more salt. And a little bit more water. And like I said, you make it however you want it. If you like it salty, add more salt. You don't like it salty, keep the salt out. So we got that cooking. Get our beef, throw it in there, and just let it chill. Put the lid on. And then we're gonna pop it in the oven for a good maybe 45 to 30 minutes until the beef starts falling apart and all the flavor inside the beef releases into the sauce too. So we'll be back and we'll check this out in like 35 minutes. Get yourself a Dutch oven and give someone a Dutch oven. It makes it that much more better. We're back in here finishing these tamales after we let everything emulsify and get in. Come and get in on some of that action, son. Look at the sauce got a little bit brighter, so it has a more appetizing color to it. We got our beef in there, it's tenderizing out, and now we're gonna do a little bit of chopping action. So we're just gonna pull this out. You know, got my usual do-it-all knife, spread some sauce everywhere. Make sure to close our drawers all the way so we don't get sauce in them. You know, we're just gonna kind of chop this up. Ooh, man, I can't even get a good chunk. It's just falling apart. So just gonna chop this up finely. You could shred it too, but I feel like chopping it just gets easier because you could just shred it in there with some forks. But I like to chop it first and then shred it with a couple forks and stuff. So, you know, it's your tamale. You make it how you want it. Just follow this. Woo! This meat's as hot as them Dynahiners, bro. It's as hot as them Dynahiners. Much of you don't know, grew up in Dinuba. Oh. So good, makes you want to use profanity. That's how good it is. Bro, I'm telling you. Oh man. Dude, this is ridiculous. Ah, little bad boy in there. So, we got this here, we got it marinating. And after you got it all nice and chopped up, yep, you guessed it, and put it back on the heater. Turn this bad boy back on and cook the meat within the sauce and start breaking it apart a little bit more for another 20 to 15 minutes. Don't overcook it, you just gotta do it for a little bit so the meat kind of absorbs the flavor. What's going on, guys? We're at the final stages of this. It's time to assemble some tamales. As you can see, I had to do a couple practice shoots, but I already got some in here. They're just laying, there's just a little metal tray thing on the bottom, and make sure you leave some space so you can add water as they cook, because I don't know how long they're going to take to cook. Usually my grandma cooks them and we just help her assemble them. So let's make a tamale right now. You know, I'm not the best at spreading some masa, but you know, someone's got to do it because Grandma ain't here today with little old Mike P. He's having to spread this masa all by himself. So, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do big things today, making tamales. But yeah, I like to spread mine kind of thin because I don't like a thick tamale with just masa because it gets kind of dry to me after a while. So I kind of like mine to be spread out pretty fine. I mean, I still want a good chunky piece of masa, but when it's all masa with no substance, it is not a chill vibe, bro. It's honestly kind of sus. Let's get that little bit right there. Flip it around. Make sure you get that build up right there. And it doesn't have to be perfect. It's got to be good enough to where it coats the majority of it. And the more you get on there, the easier it gets. So the beginning stages is probably the hardest part of it, but the more you start spreading it, the easier it gets. And just add little pieces of where you need it most at. But yeah, anything will work, a spatula, a spoon. And before you do this though, make sure you soak your corn husk in water. I had mine soaking for maybe a couple hours. The first thing you do is just, I don't know, I cleaned out my sink before I made all the dishes and just laid them in there. Just gonna add some. And I made more tamale sauce than this, but I just put it in a bowl on the side because I don't think I'm gonna use it all today. I might just freeze the rest of it and then make it later. Yeah, we can put our little beef rojo in here. A little good amount of it, you know, keep it a little bit chunky. Do the salsa because that's where all the flavor's at. There we go. Then we're gonna fold that bad boy. Tuck that in there. It's alright, we got a little bit of sauce drippage. And we're just gonna get this. We're gonna fold it. I'm gonna place that in here like. And there's a little bit of water in there. And then we get the lid. We're gonna cover it. Put it on the fire at a low heat. And we're gonna make some tamales here, guys. Move all this. I make a big mess when I cook food. So beware. Put this bad boy on the middle burner. Alright, and now we chill, wait, have a couple drinks with the homies. I don't know, I don't really drink beer, so I'm flexing on that. I don't really drink. But we here with AP, Austin Petty, and we finna make some tamales. It's a Mexican and a white dude. What's going on, guys? Finally we did it. The tamal. So it's been probably steaming for a good hour, maybe slightly less, 45 minutes. You just gotta let it until the masa gets hard and stuff. So now we unwrap it like a Christmas present. There we go. Ooh, there's our tamal. Ooh, it's coming apart. Flip it. Oh, it's pretty clean to open up for it being super hot too. Spilled some masa on the floor. But there's our tamale, guys. We out here, we eating some tamales. See that? That's heavenly. That is heavenly. But it's your boy Mike P, and that's how you make tamales.